I don't want to say I'm miserable, but like I'm not into what I do. What's good, YouTube? I hope you guys are doing well. Today's video is gonna be a fun one because today we're gonna be talking all about marketing. Obviously, I can only really speak on my own experiences. Like, I definitely am going to give you guys my own perspective on marketing, and hopefully it'll help you in some way, like form your opinion, whether you're just trying to decide if you want to major in marketing or whether you're trying to figure out what career you want to go into or whatever. Hopefully this will be helpful for you. Honestly, it's going to be a very chill, like chit chat video, so I'm going to leave timestamps in the description box down below if you guys want to follow along, depending on like what topic I go over, because I already have a feeling I'm going to be rambling and it's going to be long. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. If you guys don't already know me, then I graduated from college back in December of 2019. I graduated with a marketing degree, and now I do work in marketing. I do marketing specifically for Amazon, and I've been documenting my journey along the way, going through college, starting my career, and now trying to use my marketing skills to start my own business. So if you guys are interested in anything like that, then definitely make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. But let's go ahead and jump right into the video. The first thing I'm gonna kind of go over with you guys is what I do as a marketer. Like I said, I do marketing for Amazon. I actually was lucky enough to have an internship with them one summer when I was in college, and then I had a full-time offer coming out of college once I graduated. So specifically what I do for Amazon is I do field marketing for them, which basically means I'm out in the field marketing their technology service. So I know a lot of people, when you think about Amazon, you probably think like, you know, Amazon.com or Amazon Prime or whatever. I actually specifically work on the Amazon Web Services side of the business. So I do work on the tech side. So specifically, I work on the side that markets to the government. I'm not gonna dive too much into what that looks like and what that is, because again, I feel like what I do in marketing is so detailed in general, and it's honestly pretty boring. So I'm not gonna bore you guys like with what my work looks like. So let me first get into what my specific role is like as a field marketer versus something like a digital marketer or a social media marketer, because those things do look very, very different. What field marketers do, they're the ones talking to customers, or not so much talking to customers, but they're the ones at events where customers are. They are, you know, when you think about being out in the field versus being behind a computer running campaigns, they are the ones doing the things in front of customers that are more face-to-face. And field marketing is a lot more common in the tech industry, and of course in industries that where businesses sell to other businesses. So if a business is selling to another business and that contract is worth like a few $1 million, like that takes a lot more marketing effort in that one account versus just selling to like an average consumer. So specifically, like what I do is I'll work on like campaigns, again, doing events, sponsoring events, making sure we're getting speakers at events, obviously because it's COVID this year and there's a pandemic, so we can't really do that. A lot of my field marketing has shifted over to a virtual setting, so doing webinars, doing like roundtables with customers, doing things where people are having conversations with customers. And also I work very closely with my sales team to make sure that their goals are being made, right? So I meet with my sales team weekly, make sure I have a good understanding of what they're trying to do, who are their target customers, how can we best get in front of them, and I really work very closely with them to organize their marketing campaign. So if you're the kind of person who's like really interested in like, maybe I want to go into sales or maybe I want to do marketing, field marketing is a really, really great place for you. Again, especially in the tech industry or in any kind of company that sells B2B, because again, you're going to be talking to a lot of people. I will say for me personally, I've only been doing field marketing now for a few months, and I'm not too crazy about it, just because I'm not super knowledgeable on the industry that I work in. Obviously, I came into my job, I didn't know anything about the cloud. I didn't know anything about AWS. And I also don't know anything about governments. And you know, for me, marketing to the government, you have to have a lot of knowledge on your market. And so for me, it's definitely been a huge learning curve, because I have to organize these campaigns where I have to know what I'm talking about. And it's really hard when you don't know what you're talking about to put a campaign together, right? I honestly do prefer digital marketing, and that's just me. So if you guys don't already know kind of what digital marketing looks like, that's a lot more like behind the computer, a lot more SEO, it's really like a digital role, right? There are digital marketers in my company, and what their role kind of looks like is more of a supporting role to the field marketers. So what the digital marketers do is they actually help the field marketers build out their campaigns. They help them build their emails. They help them build their websites and their landing pages. They help them with a lot of the digital building and a lot of the digital support behind a field marketing campaign. That's kind of what it looks like for my space. Again, it's going to look very different in every single company, across every single industry. So do keep that in mind, that it does look different depending on where you work and where you end up. So I'll kind of share with you guys like some other industries that you could possibly work in that might be interesting to you. So one common industry that people get into with a marketing degree is the consumer product good industry. So we call that the CPG industry, and that's basically the industry that sells foods and products at grocery stores. When you guys go to a grocery store or a convenience store, there are hundreds of brands in front of you that you guys could choose from, and all of those brands are competing to get your attention. So all of these brands do need marketers to help them push their product to consumers. So CPG is one industry that I think a lot of people are interested in, just because it's very B2C, which basically means business to consumer. It's very much about marketing to an average everyday consumer, right? So depending on what kind of product that you're selling, depending on what brand you work for, you're really going to be designing campaigns around a specific demographic. And usually that demographic is, an average everyday person that you can usually relate to. So I think a lot of people are usually interested in that kind of marketing because it's very relatable, it's very easy to get into, and it's also just a really good way to learn. You could go specifically into product marketing. You could go again into digital marketing. I don't know if field marketing would be as much of a thing for a CPG brand because again, you don't really need to go in front of a customer at a grocery store to sell to them. But you could really be doing product marketing, digital marketing, or there's tons of other kinds of marketing that you could go into the CPG industry. Another really common business to consumer marketing industry that people go into, sorry, I'm having a hard time getting all the words out right now. Another really common industry that people go into is doing retail. So I know for me, you guys probably know I'm really interested in fashion. So one thing that I was definitely really trying to do coming out of college was doing fashion marketing, right? And when you think about it, retail doesn't just need to be fashion. You could really be selling any kind of object or good, right? When you go to Target, you can think of all the millions of products underneath the sun, whether it be some clothes, whether it be some toiletries, some makeup, cosmetics, hair products. There's a million different products, home decor that you could buy, right? So all of these brands need marketing support. So you could really be focused in on any of these different industries. So those are pretty much the most common, I would say, B2C industries that people go into when it comes to marketing. Some other industries that you could go into for marketing is, of course, B2B. So again, tons of companies sell services or products to other companies and make a lot of money from it. So a lot of times they need marketers to help support them. There's so many companies out there that do B2B. I will say that I feel like when you go to school for marketing, or if you go to school for marketing, you don't learn a lot about B2B marketing. You definitely learn a lot more about B2C marketing. And it's kind of interesting to me that that's the case, because I feel like companies that are the biggest or the companies that are the fastest growing are definitely the B2B companies. I've always found that really weird, at least in my school, that they don't really teach you a lot about B2B marketing. So with B2B marketing, the tech industry is definitely the kind of companies that are going to be paying you the highest as a marketer. And I'm going to get into salaries and payout and things like that a little bit later. But I will say that if you work in the tech industry, you probably will be doing some sort of B2B marketing, just because most tech companies make their money from other businesses, right? So when you think about Facebook sells advertisement space to other companies, right? So does Google. Amazon sells their software, their cloud service to other companies. So a lot of these big up and coming tech companies usually make most of their money by selling to other businesses or to the government. So yeah, that's kind of all. I mean, there's literally a million different industries that I could be listing in this video, but I'm not going to go over all of them. I just want to kind of give you guys a high level overview of the most common ones that people go into. If you kind of have narrowed down what industry you want to get into, let's say you're really interested in working in the retail industry, cool. The next thing you guys really want to think about is what size company do you want to work for? Across every single industry, there's going to be very small to very large size companies. And I will say the size of the company that you end up working for is definitely going to make a difference on what your role looks like and exactly what you're doing in your job, right? So for example, again, you guys know I work for a very large company. I work for Amazon. They have a huge marketing team. Amazon itself has over like a few 100,000 employees alone, right? So like for me as a marketer at Amazon, I enjoy it, but I will say because it's such a big company, for me to do basically anything, right? Like for me to do a marketing campaign, it takes a long time to get anything done. So like for me to send out an email, for me to make an email campaign, that takes like 3 months. Like it's actually insane. Not maybe 3 months, maybe like a month. Whatever industry that you want to go into, you really want to think about like, do you want to be at a big size company that already has an established name, or do you want to work for a smaller company and potentially help them grow? I definitely got experience on both ends. So when I was in college, I did some internships for some startups here in Austin, and I definitely really enjoyed the startup experience. But I will say, you know, working for a small startup comes with its downsides as well, because a lot of times when you're working for a really small startup, you know, you're the main person who's doing marketing. You might even be the CMO. You're really in charge of basically helping that company grow. And a lot of times there's a lot of pressure, a lot of long hours, and there's a lot of strategy that you have to figure out on the front end to really help get the brand and the company off the ground. So you really want to think about like, is a startup kind of lifestyle more for you? Do you want to work for maybe a more medium-sized company, or do you want to work for a large corporation? You definitely don't need to have that figured out right away, but I definitely suggest you guys kind of take some time while you're in college or whatever age you're at to get as much experience as you can across different size companies and across different industries if you haven't figured out what kind of industry you want to get into yet, because it's really going to help you kind of narrow down what you like and what you don't like. If you guys have any questions at all, or if you guys are interested in any kind of industry that I maybe didn't speak on, leave it in the comments down below, because I feel like someone watching this could have experience maybe in the industry that you're interested in. So definitely just feel free to comment below. Maybe we can all kind of help each other and learn from each other. Next thing I kind of want to cover is, of course, salary. So I know you guys are probably curious to hear about what the payout is like as a marketer. If you guys have watched my videos, you guys know I'm not really comfortable sharing how much I make. But that being said, I will say for me as a marketer working in the tech industry, I do get paid very well for someone coming out of college. I honestly was surprised when I received my full-time offer at how much I was getting offered. If you guys are kind of searching around to figure out what industry you might be interested in, the tech industry is going to probably be the highest paying industry that you could work in, whether it be doing marketing, whether it be doing accounting, honestly, whatever role you go into. And I kind of talked about that a little bit more in my video on top 10 jobs you could work as a business major. So make sure you guys go check that one out if you guys haven't already. That being said, the tech industry, it kind of makes sense why they pay the most, because again, these companies are usually the ones that are growing the most. They're usually always hiring. They're usually always looking for some kind of talent. They're usually definitely hiring more on the like technical end. So they're usually hiring like coders, engineers, developers, a lot more than they are, you know, hiring business roles. So I feel like finding a marketing job in the tech industry is a little bit harder than finding a job if you were like a coder or something. But I will say, if you guys get your experience as early as you can, get some good stuff on your resume, then you have a really good chance of getting hired as a person in the tech industry. I will say for me, and I've kind of talked about this in some of my other videos before too, I think the reason why I got hired at Amazon was not because of my experience, because I didn't have a lot of experience on my resume. I think it was because I started a company when I was in college, and I was able to speak on that in my interview, and I really think it helped me stand out from the crowd. And so I think if you guys get the chance while you guys are in college, I definitely encourage you guys to start a company if you guys can, because the best experience that you can get doing marketing is by starting something from the ground up. That's going to be a really good thing to be able to speak on when you're interviewing for companies, whether that be for a small company or whether that be for a huge company like Amazon. It's definitely really impressive to see young college students who are really taking the reins for a company or for a company of their own and doing the marketing. That being said, if you guys are interested in getting into other industries, again, I don't have really a lot of experience getting into the CPG industry or the retail industry or, you know, a bunch of other different industries. I really don't have a lot of of experience with it. I will say the smaller the company, usually the easier it is to get hired, which obviously makes sense because these bigger companies, whether it be Coca-Cola, whatever big company, in whatever industry that you guys want to get into, obviously they're a lot more competitive. Next thing on my list, I'm talking about salary. Oh yeah, okay, so sorry, I already knew this video was gonna be all over the place. So yeah, tech industry pays very, very well. Again, I can't really speak on a lot of the other industries because I don't have experience in them. I will say though that I've heard from other people who have worked in the tech industry and have considered jobs in other industries and have said that the pay drop working for other industries is pretty significant. So I actually had a friend of a friend who, I think they work for Facebook or some big tech company, and they were really interested in doing marketing in the media industry. So she wanted to go and work for HBO, I think, and she said that the pay cut would have been really, really significant. Like, she looked at how much she was gonna get offered. I don't know if she took it or not, but obviously what she wanted to do more was work in the media industry. So maybe she took it, I don't know. But I will say again, like, working in different industries is really going to affect how much you make as a marketer. So definitely consider that when you guys are figuring out what you guys want to do for your career. But I will always say, and I will say this in probably every video on my channel, do what it is that you're passionate about. Don't go into the tech industry just because it pays really well, because that's kind of what I did coming out of college. And you guys know, if you guys watch my vlogs, I don't want to say I'm miserable, but like, I'm not into what I do, right? So like, although I get paid really well, if you don't wake up and like what you do from day to day, like, really, what's the point, right? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, if you guys have any more questions, I can definitely make a part 2 if you guys want me to. And also check out my vlogs if you guys haven't already, because that's where I definitely show my day-to-day life as a marketer, and I talk about what my role is like and whether or not I like it and things like that. So definitely subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.